All right, guys, welcome back to the Good Stuff Podcast. My name is Derek Schwyn. I'm a local real estate agent here with Keller Williams Consultants Realty here in the Union County, Marysville area. We are talking good stuff because this is the Good Stuff Podcast. And today's good stuff is my wife. And I forgot to introduce her on the last take, so I'm just going to turn it over to her.
My name is Ashley, and we're going to talk quality of life and how arts contribute to that on the podcast today. So we own the Academy Dance Studio here in Marysville.
So a bit of a selfless, shameless plug, but why not?
A good one.
And it's a good one. So no, we're going to do our best to focus on arts, theater and arts and all of that stuff. Kind of good time of year for that, right?
Yeah. We think most places are gearing up for holiday kinds of shows, and as we also then think about and start planning towards what summers might look like next year. But yeah, lots of really fun holiday things coming up, ways that you can engage with the arts.
And I always have my preconceived notions of what theater is, and I've learned a lot getting to know the industry and dance and all of this through our connection marriage. That's going to sound weird. Couldn't come up with the right word. Through my experience here at the studio and being voluntold to do lots of things, makes sense. Like they say, for woodworking, shop season is winter because it's hot outside and it's too hot to do it in the shop during the summer. So I kind of view theater as the same. It's cold outside, so let's go inside.
Well, and it's always nice to.
So is that true?
I mean, yeah, but I think it's more so around like people want to do something holiday-esque, and one of those iconic things to do might be to go see a show or Christmas Carol, or I mean, there's just, especially around Christmas, there's just kind of a thing with performing arts. And I feel like schools kind of kick off again. And so there's a lot of schools are starting, either they're doing fall productions or they're starting to plan their winter or spring productions. So that kind of, there's a whole nother round of things that get going in the schools. Dance studios and music lessons and all that kind of stuff get kicked back off as well. So, but I don't know, Christmas is just a good time to go do
feel good.
Fun family things, community things, family friendly things. And art is one of those easy to consume items that match up really well with holidays.
Yep, for sure.
In the summertime, it's just we want to give kids stuff to do.
Yeah, yep. Well, and I think part of my perception is the Broadway series usually comes during the winter.
They do start, yeah.
Back in high school and college, I remember going with mom. Yeah. And that was usually when it was. So yeah, that probably set my tone of what I thought it was.
Yep.
So, what's how do we go through and kind of talk broad strokes about what the arts look like here in Union County? Because it's quite diverse, quite a lot going on. And what are the high points, and what are the things going on, and how does that help with quality of life? Yeah,
I'm certainly not an expert in all art that exists in Union County, but have somewhat of a grasp on at least performing arts, and also can just really appreciate what is going on in other art forms, whether it be through the Marysville Art League, who is always producing really great classes, ways that your kids can get exposed to a bunch of different kinds of art, from drawing to sewing to pottery making, all kinds of different things. Our schools are really vibrant when it comes to art, everything from just general art classes to theater classes. The Marysville High School has a whole performing arts pathway, which is pretty incredible, where they can learn about set design, and they can learn about kind of the tech behind live productions. And then of course we've got some really great, I'm a little bit partial too, but we have some really outstanding studios here. Not just ours, but there's two great studios uptown, Energy Arts and Instep.
Dance studios
is what I meant. Yeah. We've got some great vocal studios, and so there's a lot going on. The Avalon is doing a lot, not just in they're more and more showing movies, but they're also doing a lot with both teaching young people and not so young people different art forms. So they've got the Avalon Children's Choir, and they're doing an arts academy both for adults and for kids this fall, which has been super successful. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity to go see art, but there's a lot of opportunity to participate. So from a live theater perspective, of course, if you're a young person and you can get involved in school, you should definitely do that, because the opportunities there are super great. And the people running those programs are outstanding. You'll learn a ton, and they're super great experiences. But outside of that, if it's not just dance or music that you want to be involved in, but maybe you'd like to actually be in a musical, and you're anywhere from somebody who could participate in summer theater workshop over the summer, which is I think incoming third graders, and all the way up through high school and beyond. Encore has a program for kids a little bit older, and then Singsations at Christmas time always do a show, as well as they do some patriotic things throughout the year. And then Silver Scene Players is an adult production group that does, they've done both straight plays and musicals. So there's a little bit of something for everyone.
To an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sorry.
No.
I could give a TED talk on this, but it's not just about maybe kids or adults who might be interested in art. It's about what it does, what it can do, what arts and culture can do on a much broader scale for a community as it relates.
Let's take that pause to go back. I think, so let's say there's people that know what art is, or they are patrons of the art, and there are folks that aren't. Obviously, those who are probably have their description of what art is in their head. What would you say a description of art is?
Holy moly. Oh, that's hard.
I'm just going on a base.
It's someone's expression of thoughts, feelings, attitudes, ideas.
So I was just going on a connection to it's real life. It's the definition of art is a lot to do with life itself and the non-tangible side is all I was trying to get at with the definition of art, of quality of life. I think especially in the busy hustled world that we have, a lot of times we don't sit and, I think of yesteryear and the, like when the Avalon was first built back in the 20s, right? I think is when it was.
I believe so.
It's kind of when the Industrial Revolution and not the Industrial Revolution, that was before that, right?
Listen,
I'm losing my history.
Art, not history.
Anyway, that's when a lot of things, production lines and stuff really ramped up. And I think, Industrial Revolution really kicked in, and people started working straight hours and like 8 to 5 kind of thing, and working 8 hours a day. And just the stories and history and documentaries I've seen where they talk about going into the theater was a release from regular day-to-day mundane stuff, air conditioning in the summer. And it was just that escape, but you were still watching stories about real life and experiencing things. And
yeah, I would hope people who are consuming art would still say that it can be an escape. It can be release, a time where you can just go and enjoy and relax. But I think a lot of times people who are producing art too feel the same way. That's a great outlet for them. It's a healthy outlet for them. I think that's why I feel so strongly about kids having the opportunity to participate, because it gives them a chance to express themselves in really healthy ways.
And that's what I was trying to get to, is the exploration of your thoughts and feelings and working through things with other people and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a good way for community to experience culture. It's a good way for them to experience maybe things that they don't normally engage with on a regular basis. It's a great way for us to learn about people who maybe aren't like just us, and who aren't like those that we interact with a lot. So it's a really important component, I think, to a healthy community. And then there's a whole other flip side of how art relates to economic development. It's good for business. There's a lot of studies that have been done that show that when people go to consume art, maybe it's a live production, maybe it's to an art gallery, how often they go out to eat, or maybe they stay at a hotel, or they purchase gas, or things like that. And so there's extra dollars surrounding there's extra dollars surrounding art. And so it's good from an economic development standpoint too. You know, if we want from a quality of life, if we want a vibrant uptown community, or if we want a community that's, there's a lot going on and there's always something to do, then arts is a really good place to hang your hat, because it doesn't just impact maybe the theater or the museum or a concert hall, but it has an impact on hotels and restaurants and gas stations and shopping stores and things like that. So it's a good addition anytime somebody is looking to improve the quality of life in their community.
So I was just going to go kind of a different approach to that, because to go from kind of a nerdy standpoint, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, from a psychological assessment of what you need from as an individual, and once you get your base level, according to this chart, psychological or physiological needs.
Yeah, I was gonna correct.
I don't read so good. Physiological. So your physiological needs as air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction, I guess, is on that. I haven't seen that on that before.
Protection, I thought was too.
Then the second safety is the next level up. And then after that is love and belonging, friendship, intimacy, family, sense of connectivity, esteem, respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, and freedom. So I think those two layers, and then self-actualization is at the top. But those love and belonging and esteem, I guess what I'm saying is, as humans, as a sign of a positive economic community, if you have arts, it means you have the ability to get to that point. And so I think it can be used as a marker of having a good community, as well as something that helps build a healthy economy, or a healthy community that can have a healthy economy. Yeah. Because it allows for the quality of life and all of those things. But just kind of nerding out on the psychology side of it, that if you have your basic needs taken care of, you can move on to other things. And if you have arts, I guess is what I'm saying, in your community, it's a sign that you have space for that, and that's a good thing. Yeah, no, that's a super good point. Yeah. I think it gives us something to gather around as well, right? I think that's always a super important part of a healthy community. And so creating opportunities for the community to get together, just giving them something to gather around, I think we want to do that as much as we can. I mean, you see how much the community craves it when Uptown Friday nights kick off, and then it's thousands of people and within a couple blocks. And so to go do another tangent, so performing arts, Leon's Live, and all of the other places, when I look to send my newsletter out and look at all of the different events going on, it's amazing how many bands or musicians are playing. And so obviously Leon's Live has a lot of that stuff going on a regular basis. They've really created a standard there. So we have a lot of that, and that goes along with Uptown Friday nights and bands and whatnot. Yeah, there's a lot of those. I mean, I think there's several restaurants. I know Dalton Union has live performers really regularly, and a lot of the other restaurants do, which is super, super cool. I think 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. No, that wasn't the case. So it's cool to see that. But but back to the gathering around, the love and belonging, according to the chart. Also, I think I've seen a lot and witnessed a lot of whether it's donation or ticket sales or whatever, going to a cause to rally around in the community and donate to whatever cause or charity it might be. Yeah. I think artists are pretty regularly asked, hey, we've got this benefit coming up, or we have that. Would you be willing to help? And I think most of the artists I know have huge hearts. And oftentimes that's a medium that's used to help gather people to raise money for a particular cause. And so let's go into some real world examples of the studio. Okay. And some quality of life and kind of experiencing that, expression of emotions or working through feelings and things of, what are some common experiences around here? Yeah. There's a lot. So I think there's a lot of reasons why I think
being a dance teacher is one of the best jobs in the world. And I think we have a unique perspective on how we might be able to really connect with kids, because I don't just maybe have a student for a couple years or even just 1 year, but I could theoretically have a student for 15 years or 16 years, depending on when they start dancing. And if they're with us for that long, that many years, and even if it's just 1 day a week, but a lot of times by that point, it's multiple days a week, you can develop a pretty strong relationship there. And it's such an incredible blessing and honor to be given that opportunity, because as a mom, I don't take lightly who I would invite that, that kind of relationship
our daughters,
into our girls' lives. Yeah. So, but I think some of the benefits of dance education, but this could cross in any sort of arts education, or even, into some athletics, but, I think we're beyond, healthy expression, enabling them, giving them space to kind of figure some things out about themselves and kind of explore their thoughts and feelings and emotions and all of that kind of stuff, which is really good and really healthy. And of course, having healthy adults there alongside them in case they need to bounce, ideas or questions off of. But it's good physically for us. It's a way to keep our kids physically active and engaged in healthy behaviors from that perspective. I think it's really good at teaching. I think probably dance is a little unique and good at teaching how you've got to work for something, and there's not an instant gratification return. So we don't have a game every week. We don't have a game every other week. There's often times where we'll go months where we're practicing and we're working and we're working and we're working. We never hit the stage. And if you're not a comp kid, you probably don't hit the stage but once or twice a year, but you're working every week at hitting goals. And so I think things like goal setting and hard work and persistence and continuing to work at something when you feel like you are failing every single week, kind of just putting in the long haul and committing to that, knowing that the reward will be there. It's just not going to be instant. I think is a cool thing that we get to do, to walk alongside kids as they kind of learn that. And then when they do accomplish that and you see them walk off stage, that reward is so sweet. There's not a smile that you've ever seen than a kid who walks off the stage for the first time and is so proud of themselves. It's like it fills your heart so much, because, for them to have worked that hard and feel that good about themselves is a huge gift. So I don't know. We have examples after examples of how dance has been able to, I'll go as far as say save lives, giving kids a place where they can gain confidence and learn how to love themselves for who they are, and a place where we can just encourage them and lift them up and make them feel safe. So
it was just, as you're going through that, thinking about
some of those stories.
Yeah, just I remember one time hearing one of the students say having a safe space to make mistakes. So I think as important as it is to get up on stage and learn how to perform, which is another thing that dance has definitely given you and the arts. And I think that's a valuable thing, especially if you're dealing with your emotions and who you are and how you deal and all of that stuff. Being able to do that on stage, I think has a huge impact on kids and on people in general, but also having that safe place to make mistakes and work through things. There's a lot, I'm sitting with a perfectionist, so especially when it comes to these things. And so I think that's reflected in who the students are. And there's quite a few of them that I experience from the outside looking in, the kids wanting to be perfect and stressing about that. And that importance and that life lesson of learning those things in life to figure out it's okay to make mistakes. You gotta get through them to, fail forward or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, we tell them a lot. You won't be successful unless you're willing to be wrong.
Yep.
You have to do things enough and do them wrong enough over and over again until you get it right. And this is the place to do that, is to come in here and know that nobody's going to pick on you or look at you differently if you're trying and you're doing it wrong. That's okay. That's the only way we're going to do it right. And so, helping them to feel comfortable with not always succeeding, which is hard coming from a type A person, but it's a good lesson to learn for sure.
Good. Practice what I preach, not what I do.
Yeah. I say that a lot. I think that here at the studio, we're also super lucky to be involved with lots of other community organizations. So like Distinguished Young Women of Ohio, we get to we partner with that group. I sit on that board, but that's a production-based event, but it's recognizing outstanding young women in the state of Ohio. And so it's super cool to once a year get to spend a couple days with these rock star girls, senior girls from across the state, and kind of encourage them and motivate them and talk about leadership and then also celebrate how talented they are, how smart they are, how well-spoken they are, and all that kind of stuff. So we get to do that at the studio, which is super fun. We always get to participate in the Union County Sensations program at Christmas time. So whether that's a kind of a Christmas at Vets like they're doing this year, or if it's a actual musical like White Christmas next year, something like that, it's fun to be able to partner with them and take some of our dancers and kind of give our dancers exposure to what it's like to be a dancer in a musical, especially full of adults. So that's cool. Of course, I'm super involved with Encore, and it's one of my favorite programs. Throughout the summer, we get to choreograph for the high school musicals, and so we're it's not just kind of day-to-day just dance classes here in the studio, but our studio is fortunate enough to be partnered with lots of other really wonderful organizations. So our kids hopefully are learning not just how to participate in a community, how to give back to that community, how to use their gifts of being a performer to benefit others, and that giving back, you can't ever outgive yourself. I learned that from Bruce Daniels. Well, I didn't learn that from Bruce Daniels. That's sort of like a, Jesus thing, but Bruce used to say that a lot. He used to say, you can't outgive yourself. Right. And so, it's true. If we can help encourage and teach and model to young people that, how you engage with your community, giving back is super important. Being kind is super important. Being generous is super important. I don't know. Hopefully we can, I always say we're partnering with parents to raise the next generation of kind and generous and empowered young people. And I hope that's what's happening.
So to take this kind of to the people, for those that have never danced, never done performing arts, that's not their thing. What can they do to try it out? What can they do to support it? Or why should they consider it good stuff? Because all of this is good stuff. But maybe it's not for somebody out there. Yeah.
And I certainly don't expect or think like everybody should become season ticket holders of, the Broadway across America. Right. I mean, you're missing out. This is super great. But no, I know that's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. That's okay. That's all right. I think what it is recognizing that to some people, it is life-saving. And to some people, it's just fun and enjoyable. And to some people, it can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. And so even though it might not be a huge part of your life, recognizing that to somebody else, it could be a big part of their life. And so making sure that it's held, it's given value because of that, right? Even though it's not critical to your life, recognizing that you still want it to be a part of your kid's school, or you still want it to be a part of the community. You want the Avalon to succeed. You want all these organizations that are putting on, kids productions to succeed, because to those kids, it's really valuable. It's just as important as the high school having a football team, right? To those kids, it's just as important. So I think, it doesn't need to be your top priority, right? But I think recognizing that
it brings value.
Yeah, it brings value to some people. And then if you're like, well, okay, I don't know, maybe there is something maybe I'm missing out, right? Christmas time is a super great time to get to kind of like dabble in it, right? Because there's all kinds of events and ways that you can experience art. Everything from like the Buntsville Middle School has their musical in a couple weeks, the Willy Wonka, and the high school is doing a play. Well, if you don't have tickets, you're out of luck because it's sold out. But the show choir, the Marysville Choir Department has the cabaret, and that's in several weeks. And I mean, there's all kinds of things. There's Sing Stations is doing stuff, like Avalon Arts Academy has a production in December. Like and those are just productions. Like there's, I'm sure, a ton going on in the Marysville Art League and up at Shauna Sue's place, Crooked Door and things like that. So I would say Christmas is a super great time to just dabble in it. Maybe it's like, hey, looking for something fun to do with our family, go to the tree lighting at the Christmas walk and watch some of the studios do their productions, their dances up there. And Step Boys does stuff. I don't know if Energy Arts is doing anything because they have a whole winter show, but it doesn't take a huge commitment. Who knows? You might just enjoy it and decide you do want to become a season ticket holder.
It's good stuff. Yeah, there you go.
That's it.
Yeah, thank you. As you can tell, she's a little passionate about this stuff.
Sorry. It was life-changing to me.
It is. Still, yeah. No, I don't discredit that. I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah. I do get excited about it because it was and still is a big deal in my life and our lives. So it doesn't have to be a big deal in everybody's lives, but if you get the opportunity to support it, whether it means you're going to go consume art or you just support somebody else, maybe there's a kid who's fundraising, or maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but if you have a way to support somebody else pursuing that or support somebody else participating in it, do it.
Well, like I said earlier, it's an indicator that the community is doing well, that there's resources for it. There's the talent, there's the experience, there's the whatever. And all these programs, especially for the youth, I know some people don't necessarily care for taxes to go towards schools and programs and things, and they don't agree with, well, I don't care if the kid flipping my burgers at McDonald's knows what they're doing or not. But I think that's really valuable that at some point you were that kid and somebody put an investment into you. And if you don't pay it forward and if you don't take care of kids, the community when you're older and nobody's going to be there to take care of you.
Yeah.
So all in all, it's good stuff to have a well-rounded community, and arts obviously is a large part of this. A lot of people don't get that or haven't ever heard that, and I'm hearing more and more people coming to shows and saying, well, I didn't know. And if you don't believe it, come check it out. There are some really good shows that will blow you away, because it's not just community theater. There's a lot of good stuff going on. So check it out and enjoy it. It's good stuff. If you got any questions, obviously she's got lots of information. Get connected. Let me know if you need any information, resources. We'll try to connect you the best we can to whatever you might want to do, or if we can help you out here at the studio or whatever it might be. So yeah, overall good quality of life.
Yeah, it matters to our community.
Yeah,
quality of life does.
Yeah, arts and quality of life definitely matter, but arts definitely has a place in that equation.
Well, thank you for giving me 30 minutes to come to my TED Talk about art in the community, why it's important.
There's a lot of that there. Yeah. They say location matters with real estate, but I think a lot of that comes from quality of life and things like, I was going to say the studio. We can take all the credit now.
Yeah,
no, just the arts and football and basketball and ag and choir and all of those kind of things, along with all the things for adults and restaurants. And it takes a wide variety of things to make up a good community. So that's what we're here for, is talk about the good stuff going on. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Sorry for my rambling and my stumbling as I try to work through my... Yes, she is. So the next episode, I'll be talking to my good buddy, Rodney Berry with Berry Construction. He builds pole barns and is a construction extraordinaire. So we'll talk to him about pole barns, if you want a pole barn, and all the different barn dominiums and things he's done here over the last few years. And we're here to help you with dance, or if you need to find a house you love, sell one you don't, or just love where you live a little bit more. Hopefully we can help you out. I'd love to talk to you if you want to sit over there. And until next time, take care.
Bye.